A little bit of a different video today. Here we have a 2002 Murray lawn tractor with a Tecumseh engine. It's been a good tractor for me for the most part. I've had it for 5, 6, 7 years. Bought it used, obviously. Haven't had a lot of problems with it. Done quite a few maintenance type things, spindles and whatnot. But this year it decided to not want to start. It would start intermittently, and now it's to the point where it won't start at all. I've done quite a few diagnostics on it, and the only thing I can figure out is it's got bad coils, so we're going to replace those today. So as I said, it has the Tecumseh Enduro VT 21 horse. I believe it's a model TVT 691. And in order to get to the coils, we have to remove this plastic shroud. Doesn't necessarily have to come off, but the shield around the flywheel has to come off, and the cover will have to come off. So we're going to go ahead and get started with those pieces first. So the flywheel cover takes a Torx bit, a T20. Take those off. And there's 4 of those. I have a nice, peaceful, quiet Sunday for the most part here. You can maybe hear an ATV or 2 going by. But typically, here in northern Michigan, where we live, it's generally pretty quiet. Like I say, other than a stray motorcycle or side-by-side or 4-wheeler. Nice sunny day. It's going to be a high of around 86. Not a bad day for the end of August. See a few of the trees, the leaves are turning already. A sure sign of fall. So there's that. 4 screws to take that guy out. And normally you'd have to take this plastic out, but I drilled a hole in order to get a socket down in there to get to one of the bolts. It's a little more difficult to get to, and I guess I could have drilled my hole a little bit better. But hey, it works. And I'm down here in my backyard doing this in the shade. I could be doing it up in the garage, but it's a little bit nicer down here with the shade, a little bit of a breeze. And I know this kind of looks like a bit of a pain, but it's actually better than the alternative. So if I had to take the shroud off, that's 3 more bolts, and then you have to deal with the shroud as well. Taking that off. The air filter cover will also need to be removed. It's just a matter of a couple of turn knobs here. That's all it takes to get that off. And then this is off. You can see it's moving around. As you might be able to hear in the background, somebody's taking advantage of the nice day and mowing their lawn a few doors down. So there's several of these bolts. They take a 3/8 to remove those. I believe there's 4, if I remember right. There's one here, and there's one back here that holds this fuel pump on, and the oil dipstick, as well as holds that shroud on. So yeah, the other one is behind this this fuel line, and then this other line here. So it's a little harder to get to. So as I said, it's a little difficult to get to, so I put an extension on there, and sometimes that seems counterintuitive, but going further out, but it actually kind of helped me, and I can smell a little bit of gas, so I'm thinking that that fuel line there, as I'm kind of smushing and manipulating and pulling on it, might not be sealed, or it could have a crack in it. That's something we'll look at later. So there's the bracket that holds that fuel pump on, and then also, it's hard to see, but right here that holds the dipstick in place. And of course this bolt is a little bit different than all the rest, so that one goes here. Another bolt hiding here behind this wiring harness. This wiring harness is the connection for the headlamps. The only advantage possibly to doing this up in the garage or near the garage is a little better set of tools than this second-hand set of sockets. So the other bolt is way back in here. It's not as bad as it looks on camera. You can get to it. So now that we have all 4 bolts of the shroud removed, we'll take this piece off, set it aside, and then underneath there are the cables for the choke and the throttle. This will have to be loosened up as well. So you're going to need a socket to remove those bolts. That's a 1/4 inch. And you don't really have to remove them all the way, if I remember right. I think you can just loosen them up and get that cable out from underneath there, just to finagle it out of the way to be able to get the shroud off. Like I said, quality tools, second hand. So if any of you have ever experienced this type of thing with a tractor that wouldn't start, go ahead and leave me a comment on what you had found was the issue with yours, and any constructive criticism, if I have to do this again, as to an easier method or something I'm not doing quite right. I'm open to constructive criticism. There's that out of the way, and you can see the coils here and here. Both coils have a ground wire attached, and that ground wire is part of the safety system, that if one of the safety switches happens to be activated, it grounds out the coil so there's no spark. That's one way you can test to see whether the coils are any good or not. You can unplug that, but just be aware that the tractor will start regardless of whether the brake's on or it's in gear or the blades are engaged. So just something to keep in mind. So we're going to go ahead and try to start it, in the off chance that I took all that apart for nothing and it mysteriously magically fixed itself, which I doubt it did. So nope, it didn't. Did not mysteriously, magically start itself, or fix itself, I should say. those appear to be 1/4 inch as well. And I was able to break loose one side of these mounting bolts that hold the coil on. But I may have to go get a star bit for the ones on the other opposite side, because that does not want to go on there squarely. Part of the coil is inhibiting it from doing so. It does look like it has a small Torx bit. So that appears to be a T15 Torx bit. And of course I can't get quite the leverage. So on that coil, I had to chip away part of the outer casing of the coil itself in order to get a socket on there. The Torx bit that I had was just a screwdriver type, and I could not get enough leverage on it. So since I'm assuming these coils are bad and I have replacement ones, I guess it doesn't matter. Old coils is almost complete. Unplug the coil wire, spark plug wire. Try not to lose the bolt, because we're going to need that for the new coils. And yeah, take the ground connector off, and that's one coil removed. So I purchased these new coils on eBay. They match the specs of the manufacturer. And it's odd for me to think that both of these coils would have went bad at the same time, but I suppose that's possible. It's not real likely, but it's possible. I've had that happen on a snowmobile before. A bunch of screws and bolts there. Just gotta try to remember which one's which. So this coil looks a little nicer as far as fit and being able to get my socket in there without any kind of obstructions. So, might have mentioned it already, but if you're getting any value out of this video, whether it's entertainment value or some education or just laughing at an old guy trying to fix a tractor, I'd be appreciative if you liked the video, subscribed, shared the video. If you have any comments, good or bad, I think I already said that. Constructive criticism is always welcome. So I won't bore you with putting the second one on. It's going to be the same as the first one. Alright, the new coils are installed. However, I need to go find some feeler gauges to set the gap between the coil and the flywheel. So wish me luck. Both coils are connected and properly gapped. So let's see what happens. Don't want to start. Checked it with spark plug tester. Maybe it needs a little starting fluid. And there you have it. Not sure what the odds are of both coils going at the same time, but all that matters is it's fixed. So if you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it, give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Thanks. Have a great day, everybody. Oh yeah, now I got to put it all back together.